Video 128. January 9, 2015. Many times I talk about Mars with Mythi, and he said this time as an update. Your NASA presents these false images by not be able to send any real image of Mars to Earth. The reptilians are the official representatives and owners of the colony that humans use there. And humans are forbidden to report any relevant details of the planet Mars for the terrains. Photos and footage you have so far taken by probes orbiting the planet are all manipulated to erase any trace of civilization or natural resources, flora or fauna. The reptilians put up with human there in exchange for raw materials and labor force. And because the CG has already shown that this solar system will be humanoid colonies, so the reptilians need their human partners there, because for CG the reptilians are the guests when in fact it is the opposite. CG knows that from the beginning but has no legal basis to prevent this colonization, since it does not pose any threat to the colonial system as a whole. In fact, your elites also lost this attempt. Now they are mere puppets in the hands of the reptilians and their associated on Mars. Mythi, many are asking questions about why our planet, even having gone to the new frequency on the level 1, has not yet been officially contacted by CG. Could you explain better the reason for this delay? You see, all who have read our previous conversations know why. As I said, I follow the planet for some time and only now saw the opportunity to exchange some ideas with you. Things are changing exponentially fast, socially speaking. Many of you have agreed on religious and political deception to which you were tied until a few decades ago. I'm not able to set deadlines not for me to decide, but I believe that much will happen this year 2015. And this could lead to an opening for contacts from CG. We hope that your societies will join in some way against the oppressors, who try to keep the planet in agony, as it is easier to manage the chaos to justify total incompetence in governing for the welfare of all. For this, the resources would have to be redistributed in the form of investments of the people for the people, but rather the resources are diverted to elitist groups for the maintenance of the total social control. Faster is the recognition of past mistakes, more the race on the planet as a whole will break up the shackles that kept subdued to the present day. But, as a gesture of goodwill of this friend, who would like to be able to anticipate things, I will to advance a little the subject of inclusion of new planets. Since the CG has provided some openings, I will forward to you a list of basic guidelines on the relationship of CG with its members. Basic guidelines of the network of Communities Galactica affiliates. Each Community Galactica, CG, regional that has been granted by Council composed by at least 80% of all other surrounding CGs already constituted will be sovereign in its regional decisions by being in tune with the problems and solutions of these areas under its coverage. Every colony zero level count as mentors races that originally seeded these colonies, and may have the direct help of other races who are in the service of regional CG, which is overseeing the new colony. On the threshold of the passage of any zero-level society for level 1, this supervision will be guided by its CG to the contact of inclusion of the new society as an effective member and sovereign race. The race level 1 or above, relevant to a particular planet, even though direct descendant of known breeds, already credited as members of some other Community Galactica, CG, has to be independently affiliated in the CG responsible for the region, on behalf of the planet in question. Every planet categorized to be an affiliate of a CG regional will be considered as a sovereign race, and therefore manage their society in a cultural way that meets its citizens and its resources. In the event of discrepancies between races of different planets affiliate to the same CG, they will be resolved regionally. Regardless, solutions once granted to their descendants in other regions relevant to any other CG. In case of a discrepancy of deliberations, any planet affiliated with any regional CG can ask an instance to a board of at least 3 CGs adjacent for the matter to be discussed at an interregional level that can take the matter to a good solution. All affiliates planets will have guaranteed access to transportation portal system at regional, galactic and intergalactic levels supported by the Union of CGS. All affiliates planets will have guaranteed access to the portal systems of disposal of materials and scraps made available by its regional CG. Planets associated in development or restoration processes of natural problems will have access to the necessary raw materials without the need for reciprocity to achieve the balance that can generate future reciprocity, graciously receiving all the support necessary to achieve the infrastructure for society to give due continuity from its regional CG. The transfer of technology will be met according to the social capacity of the planet in question to absorb and make appropriate use of this technology. This condition will be deemed approved or not by the regional CG. Cosmopolitan societies may be formed on any planet in which the sovereign race decides to share its development with other similar breeds, provided that they are the level 1 races up. The mix of technologies between the participating races in cosmopolitan societies will be supervised by the corresponding regional CG. Sovereign races will have the guaranteed right to holdings of other inhabited planets and all heavenly bodies that represent opportunities for its development, always in agreement with other societies who may be exploring these same sources. Sovereign races will have the guaranteed right to try to establish colonies off your planet by way of formation of a new colony, since the CG regional is properly communicated for the approval of the proposed venture. Sovereign races will have the guaranteed right to access the related databases of all CGS of his or any other galaxy for which they will have access terminals in their planets to use publicly and for studies of the scientific community as a whole. Sovereign races have the primary duty of homogenization of their society, without which there are disadvantaged members or dissident ethnic groups. This will have the weight for the transfer of technologies, that is, the more harmonious is a society, more development opportunities it will be entitled. Groups that do not line up ideologically in a level 1 planet and above have the right to be exchanged for planets which accept them as social members. If the examination is approved by the board of the CGS of the regions involved, the trading system between planets will obey the law of supply and demand, in which there are no values but the needs for social adequacy of the planets involved. The planets of sovereign races may have their fundraising fleets targeting self-sufficiency, deploying their settlements on planets that complement their needs from these locations that are not being used by any other society for the same purpose. In such cases, bilateral agreements may be conducted if the first colonizing race agrees Sovereign races of all affiliated planets to all CGS network agree that all spacecraft in circulation, be they commercial or scientific, always will be ready to join with task force that may be needed to attend emergencies on planets with problems considered threat to society that lives there. Be it a colony of any level and any race, humanoid or not, upon request of any regional CG asking for help. All intelligent races categorized as level 1 or above will be entitled to membership of CGS independently of biological origin of these races, and can be humanoid or not, and will have all the same rights and obligations in compliance with these lines of conduct instituted. These basic guidelines are valid and mandatory for the entire network, included 1,327,522 regional CGS, and their 1,593,026,400 associated planets. Friends, you will notice gradually that the counterweight held in southern quadrant of your planet is gradually being removed from the planet center line. This leaves the planet walk to your ideal tilt adjustment for the new configuration that your continents should take. But rest assured that this whole operation is being very well supervised by CG. Notice the change and everything will be alright in this new year for all of you.